Hey, it's Max. I am back with another CSR2 video. Tonight I want to talk about elite licensed car selection because Tempest 3 is supposed to be around the corner, and this will be a decision we'll all be facing very soon again for elite licenses. Now, the elite license, the way it works is that once you pick a car to use for the license, that car is now locked and cannot be used in the Tempest event itself. When we're talking about Elite 1 license, the key at that time is usually try not to use your best car for your Elite license. So many of us, being that it was the first time facing the Elite, we have no idea what it does. We just picked whatever old car that we had in the garage that figured would be useful as a Elite car, since I'm not going to use it for the actual event, but I use it once in a while for other stuff. So as you can see, my selections were kind of haphazard. I just picked whatever I had at the time and went ahead and made them elite. What since has happened is that starting with the Elite 2 and then retroactively to the Elite 1 license, Natural Motion made it so that the Elite bonus gives you a permanent 10% freshness bonus. That changes the way you would want to look at what to select for your Elite license. Now, that extra 10% will be applied to this car and this car only, and it is permanent. So anything you do with that car now carries a 10% extra freshness bonus. This game is all about milking respect points. So every extra point counts, and 10% extra points add up over time. If you do 30, 50 races with extra 10% bonus, that's going to add up. So for Elite 2, what I did is I started really looking at the cars I'm picking to make Elite. And I picked the cars that I was at the time using the most in live for their respective tiers. T1, the Civic. T3 was the LB M4 from Amelia. And 718 Boxster S, which I was racing in T2. Now, T5, T4, you can see are both 5-star cars because they already come with a higher bonus, and the extra 10% really helps. So I picked the cars that I was going to use in live, and they benefit the most from when you do the Elite bonus, because as you do more and more mileage in live, whether you're trading or you're just outright racing, that 10% is always present. So when you have your wild card activated and you have your 20%, your rear card bonus, and then your Elite bonus, it turns to be quite an impressive increase, even only at a 30% card. Now, if you get a 70 or 150% card, that is a pretty substantial bonus. And that's really why when you select the Elite cars, you should really look at the car in your garage. I should say the cars in your garage, and then really pick the ones that are doing the most for you in live racing and make them Elite. That is not to say that if you had a very good car, that's your go-to car for everything, that you should definitely make it Elite, because you do want to leave a car available that's going to easily beat the actual Tempest. So the cars that I've used in the past for Elite, I've all put some mileage on. I'm not a capper, so I don't have that massive amount of mileage on any of my cars because I tend to use them all and I spread them out. Now, that being said, let's talk about contenders for Tempest 3. What kind of cars would be a priority? Well, the biggest thing for most people that are trading a lot and playing the game a lot in milestone crews is RP generation in live. And RP in live comes highest in two ways. One is T5. T5 lobbies tend to give really good RP because those cars tend to have much higher Evo and comes with a higher base PP number. Now, T4 has some good cars as well. F40, NSX, and the Rocket Bunny are all very good in T4, so those are contenders. But for T5, let's talk about what kind of cars I would select. Well, the top contender would be the 5-star Purple Star cars. And not the 5-star Purple Star boss cars necessarily, although they do give the same exact bonus. I find the boss cars tend not to make as much RP even when fully built. And quite frankly, the T5 ones are not that good. Dana's GT3, I guess, is tolerable, but I haven't built it, so I'm not sure. I've seen a few in lobby, but certainly the Ferraris here that I burn a ton of money on. These are great. Many of the people are looking either at the Aperta or something along those lines because it puts you in the 7-second lobby where there are a lot of reliable swappers who's going to play with you and swap with you for hours on end. I'm not able to do that all the time, and quite frankly, I got tired of spending money by the time I got to the Aperta, so it's kind of half built and not really maxed out. I was quite excited in the beginning, so some of these guys got maxed out pretty nicely, and then by the time I got to the Aperta, my wallet got kind of thin. So my top choice personally would be the GTB or the F12. Both are great cars, and also the Lusso is good as well. These three would make a good elite choice for T5. That's not to say that you cannot have elite options that are not T5. For example, I do have a 7-second car, and that's the 720S, and I've actually used it quite a bit in trading in the 7-second lobby. I find it's easy to find good partners to trade with in that lobby. People don't usually leave real quick after 2-3 races, so I was able to rack up a few hundred miles on this car just being in the lobby maybe few days, not even that often. So this would also be a good contender since it's already maxed. It is in the 7-second lobby. It is going to be 3% short from the 5-star purple car. But if you really use it enough, that 3% isn't the deal breaker. So this would still be a good option for me for a elite car. And if you look at the other contenders here, the reason I put these here is because those are the cars I'm thinking about making elite if I don't go ahead and go with the 5-star purple Ferrari. Now for T1, the GTI has been kind of a go-to car for me. I know it's not a purple star car, it's not even a 2-star, but Angel Civic's already been made elite, so I don't really need a ton of great elite T1 cars. But if I was going to use a T1 car for something very often, the elite bonus would benefit the most if you put it on a car you actually use, right? So the GTI has been my go-to car for a lot of stuff. So I think this will be a good contender for Tempest 3 for me. The Finch Exceeds 360 Cup is the bot hunter of T2. And because of the 3 purple stars and this high evo once close to max, it is a good RP generator. You can get at least 900 RP from bots with a fence car with no extra bonuses from wildcard, and I've seen as high as 2,000 plus when you're running 150 card. Now you have to remember, you're not trading when you're racing bots. You just bang them out one after the other. When you trade, you win one, lose one, right? So yes, you're only making 2,000 RP per race against a bot on a 150 card, but remember, if you were trading, you would need to make 4,000 off of a trade to equal that. And I've never actually traded and beat the bot because the bots come quick, they don't delay, they always lose, for example. So you can actually chew up probably twice as many races against bots as you would even with a decent trader. And what happens is that they're all wins. So when you're trading, you're doing 1 win, 1 loss. So really, you're looking at, in averaging it out, racing bots is almost like doubling what the bot RP is when you're looking at a trade situation. So it's well worth it. And many people will be eliting this particular car for T2. Another contender in my book is the Civic Type R, which gives decent bot RP, but also is relatively competitive in T2 lobby in case you can't find bots. Personally, I never had luck with this car finding any bots. I'll find them maybe when there's an update and I didn't update yet, and I get kicked into a bot lobby. But outside of that, I haven't had much luck. People have strategies of finding it. I don't have the patience, so I don't have a whole lot of mileage on this. So the Civic would do just as well for me. T3, most likely you want to look at the new M2 competition, especially if you can build it to max. That's going to be currently the fastest T3, and it never hurts to have the fastest car in that lobby as your elite car, because when you're racing that car in live, it doesn't get bumped up anymore. So it is the fastest car, it doesn't get bumped up, so it's an actual skill competition. That means if you're facing another one of the M2 competition at the same level of max build in T3 lobby, you guys are trading skills, not racing just to trade. So I used to do that with Amelia's when that was the fastest car. I spent a few seasons in T3 just with that car, and those were fun races because you know going in that you're racing, you're not trading, you're not giving the guy any benefit of the doubt, and you're not slowing down. So I'm looking forward to the M2 competition, and maybe there'll be another T3 that'll come along. There's rumors of another Porsche that's coming, but I don't like Porsches because I can't get the fusions easily. So I'm probably going to stick with the M2 competition once I pull that. The T4 car of choice right now, I think for most would be the NSX or the Rocket Bunny if you have either car. They're really good cars and they're very effective in live and they're easy to tune. They're not necessarily easy to build, especially the Honda, but the Nissan is very easy to get fusions for, stripping Nissan GTRs. And finally, T5 has so many options that it really doesn't matter. I think everybody should look at their T5 cars and just pick the one that they go to live with the most for the Elite bonus. So that is my advice to you as far as how I look at what cars to pick to make the next Elite license. And I'm certainly open to comments and feedback. If you have a completely different opinion, feel free to express it in the comments. And let me know what your thoughts are and what you're looking forward to building for your T3, your Tempest 3 license, Elite license. And I am looking forward to this release. I think it's going to be a fun thing to have again, map races and challenges. Of course, I'm not going to rush through it because knowing how Tempests are released, I might be waiting another year before I see Tempest 4. So I'm just going to slowly play through it, enjoy it, and get the most I can out of it when I'm not in the mood for other type of events. I hope this video was helpful to you and there is information in there that is beneficial to you. Leave a like if you liked the video. If you feel there's some way I can improve on these videos, feel free to comment. And subscribe to the channel so you can get notifications when I put new videos up. And as always, I want to thank you for watching.